Hi, Jana. I just wanted to respond to your discussion board post on this week's topic on dealing with mass casualties as we were reading in the toolkit. And I enjoyed reading your post, and I just wanted to highlight some of the comments that you made in your post. Um, you talked about the fact that they mentioned in the toolkit that sometimes if we approach it, the counseling with the training that we have as counselors or therapists to the situation of trauma and crisis or grief, then we could actually be doing more harm than good in those cases, and that the psychological first aid is actually researched to specifically be more effective in treating acute distress and acute grief in these cases. So I thought that was important to note. But I also think that our training definitely doesn't get abandoned or go to waste in those cases, because it would still be important to demonstrate empathy towards the client, to use those active listening skills that we are taught, to also maintain unconditional positive regard towards them during their time of trauma or grief, and then to also make sure that we are respecting their cultural and spiritual beliefs, especially when it comes to beliefs about grief. So I thought that was important to note. And then also, they mentioned that the psychological first aid is actually practiced in three phases. So the immediate phase would be to just treat the immediacy of the situation, giving the family the support and the information that they need right when that trauma or grief first happens, and then going into the more intermediate phase is helping them to deal with anxiety and develop more coping strategies of how to deal with that. And then in the third phase, they just talked about dealing with prolonged exposure and then giving them the support in that phase. And also, I think it's important to make sure that if we notice that, more support is needed than what is being offered, then to make those referrals. So they also mentioned in the toolkit that in developing a team, it would be a good idea to have a good mix of different members on the team, such as social workers, counselors, marriage and family therapists, child therapists, psychologists, etc., just to make sure that the needs of those clients are being met. So it's definitely an important topic, and I enjoyed reading your post as well as just learning, more information of how to deal with situations of mass fatalities and casualties and grief and trauma in those very challenging situations. So, anyway, um, just thank you for sharing your thoughts, and I hope you have a great day.